So, the big reveal. Vomitoreum was the punishment on Earth for someone taking advantage of Eve. Well, if this playthrough wasn't demonetized already, it surely is now. The Christian crowd are not going to like that one. Nor probably would have Mozart, incidentally. Anyway, I spawned on some floating bricks that propped up only a lone save mason and another hole to jump into. Geronimo! I found myself beset by another boss fight. Okay, I got the... Oh, damn. There goes 700 HP in one hit. At least now I know why there's a save mason right outside. Oh, and yeah, I'm blurring this one too. It's a really cool design, and I definitely recommend just playing through the game if you want to see the stuff I've had to censor, but there's no way this would get past YouTube. I'm sure you can imagine the theme considering the story reveal we just saw. After I finished off Eve, she left behind a key to the airship, apparently, which is not something I'd found yet. Picking it up teleported me back to the Sisters Arena. I actually took 20 minutes to find the way from here, but in a nutshell it was back near the kirkyard, past some T-posing fireball huckers, and through a narrow passageway containing more shadows. Still no Cliff Richard, but on the other side of the next door I did find the disembodied head of Phil Collins. Coming through the air. Tonight. Beyond the disembodied drummer was an empty church, a save mason, and a strange fellow called Moldwig. He asked me to kill his friend who'd gone mad called Fenrir. I guess you could say he was loopy? To my dismay though, his friend wasn't a wolf, just a big dude in armour. He lamented that the father of creation had hammered Eve, then proceeded to try and hammer me. Thankfully, my trusty tactic of circle strafing worked once again, albeit mixed in with a few dashes here and there. Back outside, Moldwig thanked me for putting his kin down and gave me another battery as reward for battering his bro. Nice, but one problem. I still hadn't found the airship. It was only at this point I even realised that the game had a map, so I got in touch with my inner cartographer a moment until I spotted an area I hadn't found yet. And of course, I can't believe I didn't think of it, but the Great Pond itself I hadn't actually explored since I picked up the acid suit. I headed towards where I'd spotted the new area on the map, and... Sneaky. I was doing really well so far. I felt like I had an angel watching over me. At this point, I was a bit lost with the lore threads. The game was definitely going for a Dark Souls storytelling style, which I definitely appreciate, but it also meant that I wasn't sure who this was or why they wanted to kill me, but they were going to die all the same. At least I don't need to blur this one. Yet another circle strafe and shotgun spam struggle session, and it turns out I was the true angel of death. Mind you, I don't know many angels who stack machine guns in their back room. I was definitely nearing the end now. Behind the angelic antechamber were some red carpeted stairs punctuated by the occasional pontiff bothering pinheads. Leading up to... the airship. I cleaned out the bottom floor of the ship. Just. Went back, restored my HP, cleared out the top level of the ship. Just. and didn't restore me HP, which was dumb because this next section was clearly a boss arena. I'd finally found Concubath. She told me it was better to let the world rot away rather than saving the creation of a rapacious god, and honestly, I'm not sure I disagreed. Those ancient Greek gods weren't exactly chaste either, and we're all still here. Either way, she told me she was going to stop me from going any further, and I knew that wasn't on. I knew if I was going to defeat this endgame boss with only half my health remaining and no more batteries, I would need a cunning, novel, genius strategy. Nah, just kidding, I circle strafed the bitch. Behind her was the fetal form of Eve in a jar. Honestly, not the worst thing I've seen in a jar on the internet. Apparently the path to Umerdermadine was now open, so back to the map. Eventually I found the path to a place just called the Cathedral. This was pretty endgame area-y, with dragons, orcs, flamethrowers and so on. But my golden shotgun that I stole from 2 whores and my fiery machine pistol I stole from a dead angel were enough to get inside the cathedral grounds. I guess that's what Interpol might need to finally bring all those paedophile priests to justice. Yeah, I guess we'll be hanging on for a few more decades yet. The arena-style mechanics in this large open area filled with endgame beasties all came together really nicely, and I especially enjoyed getting tag teamed by 3 very bad dragons in a sacred temple. After a solid 15 minutes of fisting and shooting my hot white fire all over everyone in a church, I eventually killed the last of my Ophidian opponents and went searching for salvation. I was pretty sure something must be hidden behind this giant stained glass door, so I went searching for a switch. There was indeed a switch hidden behind a small hole in the floor, and with that, at last, I found Umerdermadine. He admitted regret and intense guilt for his actions. A little bit emo if you ask me, but my god did his attacks hit like a truck. Finally, a boss where just circle strafing wasn't actually going to work. Even after scarfing down embryos like I'm a desperate bodybuilder trying an organic alternative to beef, I still took a huge L while barely reducing his health below half. Eventually though, I came back stronger with my vegan, all-natural baby gains and converted that L into a fat dub. After a hard battle, he finally capitulated and asked me to end his life. I mean, I'm not usually one to kick a man when he's down, but this guy did literally violate the mother of all humanity, so on balance, I decided to lop his head off. Finally, I was at the end of my journey. Mr. Calcium was here to tell me to go on and finish it. I walked up the precipice and... oh god, what is that in the sky? Is that... yeah, it's Vomitoreum. Time to go. I was teleported to a pleasant meadow with a solitary tree and a larval-looking fellow sullenly propped against it. It was indeed the titular titan, Vomitoreum. He didn't waste much words. Once again, I hadn't healed or restored my batteries after the last boss, or even saved. That was probably a dumb idea. Really dumb. Took a big L. Interestingly though, I respawned at the last Mason who I'd spoken to after defeating Umerdermadine, so I thought I got away with something. I went off back through the cathedral to find the previous save Mason to restore me HP and batteries before going back to fight Vomitoreum. and shit, the door was locked and there was no way to get out of this cathedral, so I was stuck fighting Vomitoreum with only 400 HP and no healing. I started off the second attempt well, managing to take no hits for a good while. Until suddenly, something unexpected happened. Did it just restart? Was this a glitch? I went to talk to Vomitoreum again. He repeated himself, but then... Well, I think that was the good ending, if there is such a thing in this game. So there it is. Took me just over 2 hours. I definitely recommend the game if you like retro shooters or the kind of dark artwork showcased throughout. I'll leave a link to the Steam store page in the description below, so you can buy it and go see all the lascivious bits without blurs. The game flows pretty well, the difficulty curve is fair, although if you're not an old school FPS pro you might struggle in places. Finally, I had some trouble getting it to run on my primary monitor. This game has settings for literally everything, except one to change the monitor you're playing on if you have a multi-monitor setup. Thankfully, I found some help in a forum somewhere, so it really is like playing a game in the 90s. I'd rate Vomitoreum 3 out of 4. Also, I'm upset about that 98% for the kills. I'm not really a completionist, but when you miss out on a perfect score by 2%, yeah, kind of frustrating. Thanks for watching. I'm going to be making more content like this, so if you did like the video you could consider subscribing, or don't, I'm not your daddy, unless my girlfriend is watching this bit, in which case disregard that.